I'm going to invite Victoria here at this time. Please join me, Victoria. Before you speak, I'm going to ask you to introduce, however you need to, your grandmother. Her grandmother flew over here in December to visit with family. And because of the war, she's here right now. And what an honor to have her. Victoria, it is yours.
Thank you very much. Людмила Andreevna? This is my grandmother, everyone. Good evening and dobry večer и dobry večer. These are the three languages I know at this time. Thank you so much, everyone, for gathering here today and organizing this event, and for your continued prayers. It's an honor to be here representing the Ukrainian people. I stand here before you as a fellow American with deep roots in Ukraine. Every war is hard to watch, and it hurts my heart as I know it does yours. The world has seen so much in the last decade. After Russian invasion of Georgia and Syria by Putin, Ukraine was next in line, becoming more obvious with annexation of Crimea in 2014, using the same tactics of disinformation, false excuses of protecting Russian speakers from an imaginary Nazi torture. Every day on the news, I see my childhood home being destroyed, innocent lives killed. And Kiev, Ukraine is such a special place. My husband and I have grown to love it together. My firstborn child was baptized there, and I still have a lot of family there right now in Kiev, hiding from this horrific war, and some friends that are hoping to escape soon, and some are brave enough to just work in bomb shelters and in hospitals, just doing everything they can. Russian soldiers do not allow the aid to come in and the food to come in into these cities. So our priests have been taking the food there, hoping that they were not going to get bombed and killed. So many war crimes have been committed. It has been more than I can bear and more than I can watch. And my story is that I was born in Kiev, known at the time as the Soviet Ukraine. The Soviet government did not tolerate religion or cultures of other countries that belonged to the USSR, and this is why my first language was Russian, the Soviet national language. Ukrainian was taught in schools as a second language. Ukraine is an ancient country. Kievan Rus was an epicenter of culture and Orthodox religion, founded in 484, centuries before Moscow was even a village. The Ukrainian people have endured centuries of war and famine due to its geographical location in the fertile land. My grandmother often recalled Holodomor, which was Stalin's artificially created famine. It killed over 4 million Ukrainians simply by confiscating food from the villages to feed the Russians and the Soviets instead. My grandmother only survived because she worked at a factory and she was able to bring home food for her family. She recalled when she was a little girl, just bodies laying all over the streets. But she was lucky to survive. And during World War II, Ukrainians lost so many lives as well fighting the Nazis. And the German occupation followed that. My grandparents often mentioned how difficult it was to live under occupation, and many Ukrainian Jews were also killed, mostly women and children, because by then a majority of the men have died, and so it was called Babi Yar, which is meant basically translation to women's hell, because it was the Jewish women and children that were burning in it. Everything in my grandparents' house, every time I'd visit them, you know, you could just feel that war in their heart, and they tried to live past it. They would always make us eat, everything was a piece of bread, just to fill our bellies more. And they would say, eat that orange. And they would really enjoy us eat it. And not, you know, go without not having one themselves, just because they were making sure that we had something. But collectively, the world did defeat the Nazis, and more hard times followed for Ukraine. Soviets banned any disapproval of governments, using any tactics to squash any uprising. Literature and art was burned from the Ukrainians, and anyone that opposed were just sent to labor camps and never seen again. However, Ukraine lived in our hearts, our family stories, and the traditions, and our spirits were the suppression of the Soviets could not reach, knowing one day our country would be free. In 1986, when I was 1 year old, Chernobyl nuclear accident happened, the largest in history, and it devastated the northern Ukraine. Soviets kept radiation a secret. Even after a week, the people were not evacuated. In fact, my mother, who is here today, was told to go march in the parade along with all the other children while the radiation was hovering in the air. They eventually evacuated everyone. And I spent a whole year without my mom, hiding out from the radiation while she continued to work in Ukraine. And my grandmother and my mother, who are here today, still suffer from thyroid issues that were in effect because of the radiation. You could see firsthand how little Soviets cared about Ukraine. And these are only my family's stories. My family survived, adjusting after everything. Just being alive was enough. In '91, the Soviet Union fell, triggering independence of Ukraine, Belarus, Estonia, just to name a few countries that also became independent at the same time. All the countries began to rebuild their culture, religion, and economies in a new democratic way. However, due to hyperinflation and other factors, Ukraine spiraled into a depression-like state, and my family's savings vanished overnight. I even remember waiting in line for flour, sugar, bread, milk with my mom as a little girl. And after 6 years of hardship, we decided to move to America. We had the opportunity to, so we took it. After many years, Ukraine began to recover as a democratic state, even with the difficulties of power grabbing and the old corrupt Soviet mentalities. Change came from the inside, desire to be better, and it came from our Ukrainian hearts that never died. Not by famine, not by Nazis, not by nuclear disasters. And it certainly will not die by Putin. I stand here before you, lucky to be even alive or in existence, really. Ukrainians will always remember their said past, but for us, there's no way back. Under Russia, it would be moving back to suppression, enslavement by corrupt leaders. The only choice is forward to a democratic Ukraine free of Russia. They will never give up. They will never accept Putin and the darkness he will bring to everyone. Every religion, every denomination, and every political background has united in support for Ukraine. This is the unity we need to have every single day for everyone. Your prayers are helping Ukraine as it is still standing fighting the second strongest army in the world. Please continue to pray and support the people of Ukraine. They are fighting for their lives, their families' lives left in a crossfire. Ukraine gave me my strong roots, and America gave me my life to live out my dreams. Let's give the support of the sovereign nation to Ukraine and their chance to live a free democratic life. Slava Ukraini!